Navigating today's real estate market can be tricky. Want to buy or sell a house, finance or insure a house, or stuck with a house and don't know what to do? Florida Talk Real Estate has been your local one-stop real estate shop since 2012. Get the advice you need from your local real estate pros. Here are your hosts, Jim DePola and Johnny C. live on Real Radio.
Yeah, good South Florida morning to you. Welcome to another edition of Florida Talk Real Estate. We got you for the next 2 hours of infotainment. It's great to have you out there. 92.1, 101.7. Thank you for tuning in. Of course, maybe you're using your free download, your iHeartRadio app. We are worldwide in that case. Yeah, that's right. You could be like any corner of the planet right here now. Maybe even in orbit. I'm not quite sure how far that stream will go. If you're willing to test it out, that'd be fantastic. Of course, we also live stream. You can join us on a live stream, Florida Talk Real Estate on Facebook. You can find us on YouTube as well, Florida Talk Real Estate LLC, home of a ton of informational chunk videos, plus our live stream on a Saturday. Thanks for being out the gates if you're joining us instantly. And of course, you can join in at any point in the day, including tomorrow. If you're like, let me check that out, you can do that. It sits there and waits for you to consume. Of course, you can be a part of the program toll free, 877-927-6969 with your questions, comments, concerns in the world of real estate. Hit us up. First voice you hear, melodious tones of our producer extraordinaire. There's Jimothy, my brother from another mother. What's up, dude?
Hello, and good morning, gentlemen. Happy Saturday.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Good to see you as always.
Good to see you as well.
Johnny C is me, your old buddy, your old pal, your air traffic control. Let's get your starting lineup. They're very important people on a Saturday morning, like Mike Rauch, the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. Hello, Michael. Everything all right?
I was on there twice.
He won't talk.
Well, I can't talk, and he's in the middle of his thing. Hi, good morning.
Hi.
Off air,
I'm trying to signal to Jimmy that my camera, he's got the wrong, well, he didn't have me, and now he's got the wrong, because I got two cameras on me.
Oh, nice.
I'm like that.
Okay,
You are
so
like
this is what I need you to do. I need you to log out of both and then take one of the links and turn it back on. I'll let you back in the studio.
He's going to let you in.
Okay, so we're going to have Mike come out of the studio.
Get
and
out
come
of
back.
here.
But I'm here. I'm in the studio.
No, get out of
I'm not
here.
walking out.
Get out of here.
Good morning,
And
everyone.
then we'll let you back in.
All right, hold on. I'm
How
leaving.
awkward is that? Leave, and then I'm letting you back in.
Yeah.
Well,
Get out of here. Okay.
While Mike's doing that, we have something a little changed now. StreamYard has a new system where if you're watching this on your iPhone or a phone instead of a tablet or a computer or whatever, now it's in the right mode. What is it? Portrait mode and landscape mode. Now you could do it landscape or portrait mode.
Gotcha.
So if you're doing it on your phone, you actually have a better experience now. It's on for the first time.
Yeah, well, very nice. That's the melodious tones of our fearless leader.
Sorry
I'll
about that.
introduce him in just a second here. It's always a pleasure. Feels like it's been far too long. Say good morning to. When you get a chance to get the guy with the name on the sign, man, that's big dog stuff right there. The law offices of Paul A. Krasker. There he is, right there to my right, your left. There's Paul Krasker. Good to see you, sir.
Great to be here.
Counselor, nice to see you as always. And thank you for finding time on a Saturday to join us. And yes, Jimmy D's over there. He's our fearless leader. Oh no, what's wrong? I don't like the facial expression.
Nothing. We're really picking up an audience with that new Facebook thing.
Oh, all right,
Yeah,
excellent.
Pretty
Oh,
amazing. I was like, wow.
with the new Facebook thing,
With the thing I just told you about. With
you
the
think that's
portrait,
why they're tuning in?
Without a doubt, we have new people. Hey, is this the first time you guys are here? The ones that are saying hi, is this the first time you ever been here?
But
Anyway.
why do you think that would be?
Huh?
Why?
I think it's easier to see on Facebook now.
Like it tells them it's coming?
Maybe, I don't know. I didn't know about this feature until this morning when I turned on.
If
the
it's
computer.
something that announces it's happening, that is very useful.
Yeah. Well,
Jimmy D, 13 plus years now, he is running top producing Keller Williams team, the Florida Home Pros team, Keller Williams Innovations. Hi, Jim DePola. How you be?
Hey, I'm doing really good. I'm doing well. So I just want to tell everybody that's new to the show what we're about a little bit.
About.
Yeah,
About it.
We're about it.
we are the Florida Talk Real Estate Team. I'm so glad to have Paul Krasker here from the law office of Paul Krasker.
And it's weird to call it that because we're a sports show.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I know
exactly.
it's talk about falling for the banana in the tailpipe.
That's Johnny C., our professional radio host.
Oh, something like that.
Pros pro of hosting, and he used to run a sports show, and I think he's co-hosting a sports show now right after us, Locker Room here on iHeartRadio.
Yeah.
But Florida Talk Real Estate's been around for 13 years now. We're almost going on year 14. Paul's been with us for 13 of the 14 years. I think, Mike, you've been with us, I think, 8 years or something.
I thought it was going on closer to 10, but
Is
maybe
it?
it's
Yeah,
maybe it's
it
9.
It might be 10.
Might
yeah,
be
it
11.
I forget what year.
Yeah,
or
it might be
my
16.
first show date.
Might be 16.
Probably
or
17
something
years
like
at
that.
this point.
17 years
Yeah.
now.
Oh, yeah.
What's the traditional gift for 10 years?
Oh,
Are you waiting
paper?
for like
that's true.
a silver plate or something? Yeah.
It's paper, right?
I need my
That's what
Bolex.
everybody always tells me, no matter
Paper.
what the year is. Yeah.
Paper.
It is paper.
So
Yeah, okay.
our show is all about everything about Florida real estate. We don't try to spin the market. It isn't really a sales show. We try to teach people in a fun and entertaining way about what's happening in the market, and let you know about government programs and services out there that you could use for free. Paul's going to talk about one of those programs today, the student loan modification program. Paul, we've been sending quite a bit of people over to you compared to the last several months. It seems like all these people right now are saying, hey, I need some help on my student loan payment. So I'm sure that's all because all the government changes, right?
That's exactly it. They're finally catching up to the point where they've got notices saying, you were supposed to restart your payments in whatever it was, June or July. And they're realizing there are some repercussions coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So we're going to go into that a little bit later, and we talk about all things real estate. We have Mike Rauch here from the mortgage firm. He works as a loan originator for a direct lender called the Mortgage Firm.
Mm-hmm.
He's in multiple states. He's helped tons of our clients over the years from this show that you're listening to right now, helping them with refis, mortgages, also just counseling to figure out how to get a mortgage or a refi, or if a refi is best for them, or there are other ways that they can get what they want without going through the process of refi and saving a lot of money. The
Right.
show's all about saving money.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, and then me, Jim DePola with KW Innovations, and the host of the show, co-host with Johnny C. We've been doing this for 13 years. Our goal is to educate you so you can make informed decisions about to get where you want to get to, not what we want to sell you. And you'll find out as you listen to us. That's the way we are, and hopefully
That's
we'll
right.
have some fun.
And remember, it's easy too. You can connect the dots. Florida Talk Real Estate, the name of the show. Also a .com, floridatalkrealestate.com. We call it the one-stop real estate shop for a reason. As we just mentioned, some of the professionals in the studio, this is not a full representation of the team. This is a team of pros that work cohesively together. When you're buying a home, selling a home, stuck with a home, you don't know what to do. If you have a situation that touches the world of real estate, even student loan debt. Yes, that affects whether or not you can get a loan. It touches the world of real estate. We got a professional to handle all that and so much more. One click away, floridatalkrealestate.com. As noted on Facebook and YouTube, lots to consume and share away because you can change lives, including your very own, with the pros of floridatalkrealestate.com.
Hey, Mike, did we fix your problem yet?
I'm on my
Which one?
laptop's camera. So I'm not on the normal camera right now. So I don't know if this
So
one is not working.
Why is that not happening?
Do you see me somewhere in this
I
camera?
see.
And I will tell you, if you're new to the show, this is
it'll
normal.
It'll be the right side of my face.
I'm gonna
This
turn
is normal.
that one on later. Okay, I can't deal with that right now. So
Can't deal with
It's a 9-ish
And,
start.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, and we deal with our technical issues on the fly.
Good.
Oh, and on top of it, I just got a note that none of the names that are connected on our little cubes are correct. So all the new people, you're going to have to figure out who we are because we
Oh.
don't know who our names are wrong
that's
right
part
now.
of the fun. We have to
Yeah.
make it fun for you too.
Yes, Ross.
There's,
Yeah.
Ross.
there's a prize. There's a prize at the end if
There
you guess
is.
everybody's.
If
yeah.
you can get it right. Right.
So what we're going to start off with today is we're going to, hold on, I'm pulling up the notes here so I can know what we're going to.
877-927-6969 if you'd like to be a part of the program, this professionally run program. We give you 2 hours of infotainment, and you're always welcome to join in. Conversation at hand. If you have a concern or something you'd like to bring up, don't be shy. You're welcome to join. In fact, we love taking the phone calls, so line them up as you please.
So we're going to talk about what you sent me. We're going to start off talking about what you had sent me, which was the property tax bills I was going to talk about this week. We mentioned it a little bit last week, and I was going to go into them. There were 8 proposals from the House, the State House, to try to eliminate or reduce property taxes, especially for homesteaded people. And last week there were 8. Magically, it turned into 7 this week. And then Governor DeSantis said, we're not putting any of them up for a vote He thought it was ridiculous that the House came up with 7 different ideas, and the idea was to float that out to the Senate and the House, and then and then maybe float multiple bills out there for the voters to vote on.
I thought the intent was to float them all out on the ballot.
Well,
And my initial reaction was, people get lost in amendments as is, and now we're going to have to choose between 8 of them. And you're like, which one do you like better to save your property taxes?
Yeah,
It's like, oh man, that is messy.
And it wouldn't have went where all of them went through, because the House and the Senate have to vote first. They have to vote first, and then whatever got approved by that would go up for the ballot.
Right.
So there's one filter system before.
Sure.
So this was all the House side. The Senate has produced nothing that I know of, right? The state Senate has produced nothing on the property tax bill. Governor DeSantis has talked about it a lot, saying what he wants, but he hasn't really given out a plan himself. So there's a lot of House representatives that are upset with him right now. It's like, hey, you say you want to do this. We came up with 7 ideas, and you don't want any of them, but you're not telling us how you would fix it yourself. So it's kind of a big fat mess right now, and we're on hold. Now, that does not mean that we might not have a vote next year on some kind of tax bill.
Sure.
We still might have that.
Hopefully.
But right now, all the plans that were put out there are kind of rejected. Paul, do you know anything more about this than I'm saying right now?
No, not insider.
No, but I mean, do you think I represented the?
Yes, I
issue?
do. And, it's a tough thing when you go out to the voters to say, we're going to eliminate your real estate taxes. Who's not going to vote for it?
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, how are you going to fix your roads and your police and your fire and your medical and everything else with a huge gap in your budget?
Mm-hmm.
And, responsibly, I think you've got to tell people how that's going to get covered before they make a educated vote.
Go ahead, Mike.
You have to make up that revenue somewhere, or
Sure.
you got to cut the budget.
Well, this is what I read. I read a pretty comprehensive article about why they shut down the push for these 7 proposals. All of them had schools taken out, because 46% of the school budgets, public school budget, is coming from property taxes.
Okay.
So
Can I ask you a question real
Sure.
quick? Because this is the perfect time to ask it.
Mhm.
I've been trying really hard to figure out exactly where the lottery money, how that cycles. we were pretty much represented that was for schools, right? When I read that
No,
almost
it was
free-
not
almost-
pretty much.
Yeah,
it
dude,
was
it was
only
for schools.
dedicated to schools.
when I
period.
read that damn near 50% of the property taxes was for education, I was like, well, that's a really big number. And how do we have to fill in such a big gap? Because everybody I know plays lotto.
I know you're baiting me right now.
No, I'm
by
not
asking
baiting
that
you. It's
question.
not at all. This is
Well,
legit.
well-
I can't find where the hell that money goes.
Oh, well,
Bright
what they did
Futures
is
is
they
one of them.
they started taking it out of the schools and used it for other things, especially when the
So
economy got
that
bad.
happened.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
They
Total
said,
bait and switch.
Yeah,
Okay.
total bait
Kind of
and
like the
switch.
turnpike.
I was just going to say
Yeah.
that was my other example.
good.
We were supposed to have no tolls on the turnpike
Once
at a
it paid
certain
for
point.
itself.
Yeah.
All right.
That's like the contractor that says, hey, we're going to be done with your job on Tuesday. And then Tuesday comes, you go, hey, you done with the job? And the contractor looks at you like you're crazy and goes, I didn't say this Tuesday.
I said a Tuesday.
I said Tuesday. That's kind of like that.
Jeez.
So
Okay.
but anyway, so the property tax bill right now is dormant, okay, about what they're going to do.
But you got to appreciate that there's some effort, right? I mean, I appreciate that
I'm
there's some effort.
open-minded. I'm open-minded, but I agree with Paul that you don't want to do something where you have to go back. There's a thing that you learn when you own a business that you try not to do takeaways. So
Sure.
if you work out a deal with somebody, you try not later to do a takeaway on them because they get upset about it.
Sure.
So what you don't want to do, I think, is overreach and then come back and go, oh my God, we have these big crises here and here and here, and you're playing whack-a-mole,
Well,
trying to get the money back.
and you also don't want to shift the burden to a lower class, right? Because the idea of, well, we'll just raise taxes on consumable products. You're like, well, that hurts this segment of people way more than it does the property owners. So like, it's got to be a good exchange if this happens.
And what we might find out is where we're at is the good exchange.
Yeah,
where we are
look,
now.
There are clearly some inequities with the real estate taxes.
Right.
Yeah.
You've got somebody who bought a $200 million house in Palm Beach, and what's 2% of that? $4 million. They're paying $4 million a year in real estate taxes, and they're certainly not getting $4 million of benefit
Right.
from that tax. So I get it on the high end, but and they're really supporting 500,000 people who are paying next to nothing and using many of the services, whether it's the healthcare or whatever, the roadways,
police, fire, road.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everybody uses that stuff, but I get the point there. I guess it's like proportional, right? So that's why you use percentages in the first place.
One of my favorite classes in law school was tax theory. I had a great professor, and he would just sit there and talk to you like the state taxes. He'd say, give me a justification for this. And you'd try, and he'd say, no, that's not really true because of this. And that's not really true because of that. And you finally say to him, like, okay, so what is the justification? He says, there is none. It's just a convenient time to tax people.
Right.
Because the kids didn't earn it, and the parents had already paid taxes on this money that's now sitting in their bank account. And it's a convenient time before the kids get free money to take a little sliver for the government.
Grab a little more. Yep.
And he said, there's no justification for it. And I think this is one of those things too, where there's really no justification for somebody to
Overpay.
pay $4 million in real estate taxes.
Year after year after year.
So maybe there's a maximum cap. Maybe there's other things that can be done besides eliminating. But it seems like a pretty drastic effort. And really, if you're just eliminating the homestead real estate taxes, you're now unfairly burdening a lot of people who, I get it, the politicians figured it out. These other people don't vote in Florida, so they couldn't care less about them. But those non-homestead second home people are going to be paying a big burden.
Well, are you saying, but their taxes aren't going to increase?
Yeah.
Or so
I'm assuming it will. You got to make the money somewhere.
There's still a 10% cap on increases for them,
Yeah.
but they're going to have to pay. And then to fill the gap from the homestead taxes, they're going to have to look at other things like sales tax increases.
Right. So you shift the burden to the non-homeowners by increasing sales tax.
Do you think they'd ever broach state income tax?
That seems like the logical place to make up that,
You think
that
they'd
amount of
ever-
revenue.
I don't think they can.
I don't
They've
think that
sold
people would vote
themselves.
for it.
They've sold themselves against Texas, Arizona, all these other states that are trying to fight for baby boomers from the north, as we have no income tax. We have no state income tax. And they're trying to one up it by saying now we have no
Property
real estate
tax.
taxes.
Right.
But to get there,
Yeah, where's
You're-
the money come from? How do you make up that
Hey,
gap?
all the proposals that I saw, all of them, that whatever was left over, and the state would pay for it. Like they would make up. So it's still coming out of the residents.
And,
So,
and the other scary thing about that is that means that the state has even more local control on
Right.
the local government, right?
Yeah.
Because they'll be controlling purse strings that are normally. So it's more like less representation for taxes, right?
Sort of,
What I
yeah.
mean, because you're not going to your local official, your county commissioner, your city commissioner, your school board commissioner. You're going to the governor's office, right, or Tallahassee, and saying, "Hey, can I have this money, please?" Right?
well, there are some other taxes that don't impact owners. There's a bed tax, there's a tourist tax, and so I think you'll see those jumping up pretty big.
Yeah.
When you make a decision to vacation in Florida, you're not checking other states to see what their sales tax is and see what their tourist tax is and bed tax is. You don't even know when you book a room at the Hilton or the Breakers or wherever else. You don't know what the
I wonder if
bed
that's
tax
I wonder
is.
if that's a growing almost point of emphasis though for tourists, because in the last, I'll say year, maybe plus, that has been a focus in Vegas. For a lot of people going to Vegas, be like, look at all this extra we're paying for, where they're noticing line items. And I wonder if that will shift to places like Florida if we start to really have an increase in that, where it will be noted. Because I'm with you, more times than not, if you're a tourist, you're on vacation, it is what it is, right? It is. I'm trying to enjoy my time.
Yeah, until you start hearing that Florida is not a great place to vacation because it's so expensive because of
all the ads,
yeah,
right? And again, I'm going to say it was about a year. Would you agree, Jim, that the focus I don't want to say focus, but a lot of people were noticing in Vegas. And then you start to see Vegas numbers. Vegas still does well, but it's down. I mean, it's down.
Well, revenue's not down. I watch these videos every single week now. I don't know why I'm obsessed with this.
Tourist
subject.
numbers are down, not
the
like
tourist
not like 50%,
between 7 and 12%.
It's like 10%.
Yeah, 7 and 12%. But the revenue's still up for gaming. But per room, they're having less revenue. The management says everything's fine. We're making money. But that isn't what's happening in real life, I don't believe, because a lot of people, I know I went to Vegas once in 4 years. You cannot believe how many free nights I can get at like 10 hotels out there right now. And I'm not even a big gambler or anything, right? I went out one time. I was so sick, I didn't even gamble all week. And they gave me like, hey, stay here for 5 days. Stay here for 5 days for free. And
could you imagine if Orlando did that? Or you know what I mean? Hey, stay here for 5 days for free.
So they're hurting. They're not asking me to come out there for 5 days, Mr. Big Gambler. And I'm saying that very facetiously, right? To have people like me come out there. They need more bodies out there. But I wanted to get back to we kind of got a little off tangent. I want to get back to the property taxes again, because there is a Newsweek had a thing where they came out with the highest and lowest states for property taxes. And I thought, oh, that's kind of interesting. So the lowest, I'm going to start off, the lowest property taxes in the country, right, is West Virginia, right? This is property taxes now, not all types of taxes. And it's only the average property tax for homeowners over there is $728. $728.
That's
okay.
awesome.
Okay, so you're looking at it not from what the percentage is, it's what the
how
average,
much they're actually paying.
Yeah.
Right.
And of course that would make sense because of the lower property values as well. Correct.
Did you read this article?
Sorry.
No, I'm laughing because you're right on. You're right on where we need to go. Thank you, Jimmy.
Sorry.
No, don't apologize. So the reason why is that it has a much lower national average for medium home price, 261,000. Right. Versus the national average of 429. So that's part of it.
Can you imagine though, at 261,000 paying $728 a year on your property taxes? Like that
would be awesome here.
Still great.
Wouldn't it? Yeah, it would be awesome. But you know that West Virginia is also one of the biggest states that take money from other, from the federal government and other areas, because they're not really covering all the bills that they're supposed to have in that state. You know, that's the way it is. And that's why they have such a low tax bill. So the next one is Alabama, $804, right? $804 a year.
Roll Tide.
Arkansas, $871. So where do you think Florida lands?
Oh,
like how much do you think the average for Florida is if we're talking about 800, 700?
Average.
But it's tied to property value.
Yeah.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah. So where do you think we would be?
Top 10?
Out of 50?
Yeah, I would say top.
Well, we're using numbers. We're using numbers now, like 871, 750. So what do you think the average property tax bill here is in Florida?
Well,
average.
Paul just gave us a great example of what the high end is in the state.
$3,500.
Yeah, I was gonna say 3,600. So.
Oh my gosh. Okay, what do you think?
Boy, I'd go higher than that. Maybe 5,000-6,000.
Oh, what do you think?
1,500.
1,500.
$3,659.
Oh, wow.
Ding, ding,
Nice.
ding.
Wow.
$59 off.
Nice.
Wow.
Right? We're prices right.
The
You're
Price is
doing
Right,
awesome
yeah.
right there.
Yeah, because
So
for
are you a Bob Barker or a Drew Carey person?
Oh, geez.
Well, that's not fair.
Yeah.
Why would you make anybody make that decision? We all turned into Drew Carey people after we lost Bob.
After we lost Bob, yeah. So
and he does well.
He
So
does well.
3,600 a year, right? Versus the lowest, which was 700 or whatever I said, 728 or whatever, right? So, what do you think the highest state is?
What do you think that number was 20 years ago?
Oh, I don't even know. I wouldn't know. I just wouldn't.
20 years ago, so 2005.
Property values in Florida since I moved here in 2000. Man, oh man.
Yeah, it must have been 1,500.
Probably what
Yeah.
you were guessing. Yeah. Yeah.
I was factoring in that there are so many people who are living in condos that are under $50,000 in value and are paying zero. And
But this is also statewide, so it's how many condos are there?
So many though.
everything on the ocean.
Yeah, so many.
Yeah,
But then you go inland, and the property values are much
are
lower. Yeah,
So
yeah.
Gosh, even with all that said, we're still 36.59 on average.
And just to put it in perspective, Texas, right? We always kind of think of ourselves as almost like sister states, in that way, where they have the same kind of inclinations. $5,800 a year, $5,860. So considerably higher. The highest state in the country is New Jersey, $9,413, right? Versus our 36. So they're paying almost, $800 a month over there.
I don't think you're
Right.
surprised either, Timothy.
Oh no, not from being there. No, not at all.
but
I mean,
Jersey's
it's got-
got full service gas stations. So,
Yeah, you
Yes,
don't have to get out
yes.
your car.
Well, that's why.
right.
yeah.
And actually,
It's
you
worth
want
it.
to talk about one thing that's a bit different. 60% of their property tax bill goes to schools.
Yeah, the
And
school tax up there is a
Much
lot.
higher. And the thing about it, in the town that I'm from, there's two and a half schools. You got an elementary school and a middle school. One, and then 4 towns share the high school. That's it.
Yep.
That's the schools that you have. And
Wow.
60% of their taxes. I just saw my brother's tax bill. It came down here by mistake, and I saw it. And he pays on a 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranch house. It's estimated to be $500,000-600,000 is the value. He pays $12,000 a year in property taxes.
$1,000 a month in extra.
And that's cheap because all the houses around him are $1 million homes, and they pay $20,000-25,000 a year.
Yeah.
And that's just residents. This isn't sitting on, Hutchinson Island or something like that. Is the example that you gave, Paul. I mean, this is just your average home in that town. But,
So-
it's wealthy people too.
So which state do you think has higher taxes? New York or New Hampshire?
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire, you
That's
think?
my guess.
New York.
I'd go to New York.
I would have went New York.
Yeah.
New York has 6,096, and New Hampshire 7,715.
Oh.
So Mike was right. Yep.
Good guess.
I wouldn't have thought.
50-50.
I wouldn't
So
have
much
thought
for
they
live
had
free
more
or
high-
die.
Why did you think that, Paul? Why did you think New Hampshire? I would have thought New
I thought
York.
Paul said New York.
Yeah.
You said
no,
New York?
I thought it was New York.
Oh,
me
I
too.
thought you said New Hampshire too.
upstate is going to bring that down compared to, the city, right?
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
but upstate.
Well, but upstate
I
has
mean,
more.
New Hampshire
They
is
have
bringing that
expensive-
down too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's pretty interesting about the taxes. So, Florida isn't like the super high tax state in the country. We're kind of in the middle.
In the middle.
In the middle is where we are, and everybody's complaining about it.
Yeah.
Where's California?
Oh, good question. So California is actually less than Texas, 52.48. Texas is 58.60.
I'm stunned by that.
So, yep. And here's a surprising state, though. The second highest state, or one of the highest states, if not second highest, was Washington State, 6,300 a year. I didn't expect that.
Was this only residential?
Let me see
Or
here.
all
It
property
didn't talk about.
tax?
It's all not. It's all properties. It doesn't talk about homesteading in here, but it says home values. So I'm assuming that it's home, but it doesn't say, Paul.
So I think that's a piece of why you're getting those numbers the way they are, because if you're able to rely on a big corporate tax base
Mm-hmm.
to get your tax revenue, you can keep the home millage rates down.
Well, here's the big scam that I think's happened in Florida, and we've seen this happen twice, and it's happened now, right? It's happened now, and I think it happened during the boom. The property values increased way more than historic norms, right? We just went through this again. I think we're going to start going through a little bit of a correction. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. I think we're seeing that already.
It's happening, yeah.
But how big of a correction, we don't know yet. But what I think, so the 2 times that this happened, right, where we had this, the cities were sometimes lowering the millage rate, but people were still paying more money. So they were paying a lower tax percentage, but because the value of their house increased so much, they were still paying more in taxes, like in actual real money, right? So let's say that you had a $200,000 house and you were paying $2,000 a year in taxes, and then it increased to $300,000 in 1 year, right? They would reduce your tax rate, but because your home bill went up, so the cities were actually making more money, right? The municipalities are making more money
By taxing you less at a
by
lower rate.
taxing less. And that's what happened in Port St. Lucie. Port St. Lucie, there are articles about this. There's news articles about this right now. Why is our tax bill going up when our property values are going down? Because in Port St. Lucie, for the first time since we've had this show, property values are going down in Port St. Lucie.
Yeah, but you're getting a soccer complex. So
Yeah,
cheer up.
exactly.
Cheer
Right?
up.
And you got that empty film studio.
Cheer up.
So the thing is that their complaint is like, because they're getting squeezed for the first time, they're seeing depreciation up there. And they're like, wait a second, my property values are going down, but my tax bill's going up, right? And Port St. Lucie, city of Port St. Lucie is known for the biggest tax bill, the highest tax rate in the whole state, right? So I think that what happens here is that when we're in these boom times, the city commissioners and county commissioners and all that, they just have a field day because it's like raining money to them. Just extra money's coming in, and instead of saying, you know what, we got to tighten our belts and like give some of this back, and not just take it because we can, they don't really do that. That's the way I look at it. Does anybody have an
It's
opinion
kind of like
on that?
anybody's individual household budget, right? Like the money's coming in,
So
you can
increase
spend
your
it. You maybe you
expenses.
spend money on projects you've had in the back of your mind for a while. Maybe you just go out more, right? So like the more money you make, the more money you spend.
Yeah.
Seems kind of logical.
Use expands to capacity.
Yeah, why not? And so I don't know how
Yeah.
they do these budgets. Like it'd be interesting to like actually sit down and track, the meetings and everything. Like, are they budgeting based on what's needed for the programs, or are they budgeting based on what's available in funding?
Oh,
right?
that's
'Cause
interesting. You
you know-
could do it either way to make the
Yeah.
numbers work.
Yeah.
But
What
the
do you
other,
think, Paul? You deal with this a lot. So what do you think?
yeah, I mean, the other thing you have to layer on top of this is the reduction in federal services to the states,
Oh, yeah.
which is a massive reduction. And in addition to everything the states have been doing for its citizens, the state and local governments are going to have to pick up more slack now that the federal government's cut its budget, not doing what it used to do for the states. So you can argue that you need more money statewide, countywide.
We
provide
went through
those
that this year
services.
with Hometown Heroes, right? They funded it instead of 100 million for this year, was funded at 50 million, which
And they
caused a
scaled-
restriction on the professions. And what it's the result is that money is lasting a lot longer this cycle because they've restricted it to, a limited number of professions. But that was one of the, like, there's an example of what they're doing at the budget level and without all this property tax stuff, right? I think that's to Paul's point, they lost federal revenue for something. I don't know, whatever, what it was. And they said, this isn't the year, right? 50 million.
Yep.
Hometown Heroes.
Let's go ahead and take a break, guys, if you don't mind.
Sure.
And then on the flip side, we're going to do a segment that I'm really looking forward to. It's going to be called Conquering the Florida Condo Market. And what I mean by that is that we're going to talk about from different perspectives, the realtor perspective, the mortgage perspective, and the legal perspective of buying and selling a condo in today's market and making sure that you don't get burned because the regulations that the condo owners are now supposed to, or condo community is supposed to handle, plus the legal obligations of the seller to the buyer. And then also, what kind of financing can you use for these units compared to like a normal townhome or a single family home? It's going to be really good stuff.
Nice. And I'll even throw in the completely ignorant and uneducated perspective.
Yeah. I'm almost there with you.
Just to round it out a little bit. It's what I do best.
Way to keep us balanced, John.
That's right. That's what I do. For the people. That's right. For the people. You are not on an island out there. I have no idea. And I'll ask the questions. Hopefully you're thinking. You're always welcome to join in if you're gonna have a question. Don't just let it be something you ponder. Try to get an answer. 877-927-6969. Toll free in the studio. We are live on this 25th. Is it 25th of October? I can't believe it. October 25th. Oh my goodness. Join us if you got a question. Of course, if you'd prefer to just listen, I totally understand. If you're not comfortable on the radio, believe me, I get it. Go to floridatalkrealestate.com. Ask the question to the pros, pro off air. You get access to the entire team. One click away. floridatalkrealestate.com. Know it, use it, love it, share it. You can change lives, including your very own, with the pros of floridatalkrealestate.com. We're back in 4 minutes. Thanks for being with us every Saturday right here on Real Radio.
We'll be your friend. Follow us at Real Radio 92.1 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Here's the latest with weather on Real Radio.
I'm CBS 12 meteorologist Charlotte Carl. It is going to be a breezy day out there, so definitely not the day to go to the beach or head out on the boat, because beach and boating conditions will be hazardous with winds blowing out of the north and east about 25 to 30 miles an hour, with gusts possible even higher.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DePola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rauch from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rauch will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rauch, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title, that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Camaronets, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to floridatalkrealestate.com. That's floridatalkrealestate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation, because floridatalkrealestate.com has you covered. That's floridatalkrealestate.com.
You're listening to Real Radio 92.1, and we are an iHeart radio station. Real Estate with Jim DePola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
Yeah, I'll give it to you again and again and again. It's toll free, 877-927-6969. Dial in with your question, comment, concern. We got you for 2 hours of infotainment. That's right. We'll take you up until 11 on this Saturday, 25th of October. Thanks for being with us. 92.1-1017. You can use your free download, your iHeartRadio app. We are worldwide at that point. And of course, we live stream on a Saturday. Find us on Facebook and YouTube. Florida Talk Real Estate on Facebook. Florida Talk Real Estate LLC on YouTube. That's home of a ton of informational chunk videos to consume. Do that. Consume away. Information is power. Johnny C is me. Jimothy's our producer extraordinaire. What's up, my dude?
Hello, hello, and good morning.
Good morning. Mike Rauch, he's the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. He's right over there.
I am here.
We have Paul Krasker with us on this Saturday from the law offices of Paulie Krasker. It feels like
Wait, you said a lot of Krasker there. What
there's
does
a
that
ton of Krasker going on. It feels like the first time this year I've seen you, but I could be mistaken.
I was here 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Was I here?
I don't
No.
think you were here that week.
Oh,
Nope.
that's why.
I missed you.
Might be the first time I've seen you this year.
Slacker.
Sucks. Hate not.
You thought you were going to get it.
Yeah, I was gonna get all of it in. Yeah.
managed
No, I
to,
hate going that long
You
without.
managed to avoid court this year.
I did.
Congrats.
Yes. I need for counsel.
How'd you do that?
Luck. Pure blind luck. Always a pleasure to see you.
Yeah.
Thanks for being in the studio. And of course, Jimmy D, Jim DePola, 13 plus years now. I've told you he runs a top producing Keller Williams team. It's the Florida Home Pros team, Keller Williams Innovations. And he has been our leader on this show for that long as well. Hey, Jimmy D, Jim DePola, how you be?
Hey, I'm doing all right. I don't know about our feed right now. Looks like I'm being blocked, but whatever.
Blocked.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I put out a little thing saying we're back up now, buying and selling condo tips, but it's not coming through. So I don't know.
I
if
see
we're
it on my end.
live.
Yeah, I
You're
see it.
seeing it?
Yeah, I see.
Okay, good.
There's one.
It isn't working on my computer then. Hey, we got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about conquering the condo market in Florida. I feel like there's going to be, we've already gone through a lot of changes in the condo market, but I feel like the condo market is going to wake up in the near future where there's going to be a lot more opportunity for affordable condos. I think like condos could be a key for the affordability crisis in Florida. And the reason why I'm saying that is because in 2021, there was a big collapse of Champlain Towers and Sunny Surfside in Miami, and it killed like 98 people. And because of that, they changed a lot of regulations about how condos are run and how condos are keep their funding and how they are monitored to make sure that they're structurally sound and insured properly. So all of those regulations went into effect basically 2022, 2023, and it became a shock to the condo community in Florida, mostly South Florida, East Coast, West Coast, because of the strict rules. Before these new regulations, there were regulations on the books where the condo boards had to have a certain amount of money in reserves to take care of future repairs and upkeep and deferred maintenance, and that they were supposed to check their properties to make sure that they were in good condition, structurally sound condition for the future. But a lot of times they figured out ways to waive or get around those regulations where they were kind of kicking the can down the road. But these new regulations are like, you mandatorily must do this, and it's going to be this way from now on.
Right.
And another thing they did is made the condo board members, anybody elected to the condo board, to have like, I think it's only like 4 hours of training, but any training is helpful. And training about understanding election and election laws so that they don't violate elections in their community, but also what their legal responsibilities are to the community to uphold the laws that they're required to uphold.
Legal responsibility.
Legal fiduciary, I think, is that what it's called, right, Paul? Fiduciary responsibility.
Yeah, it's, well, any board that you're on, you have a fiduciary duty to the company or the shareholders, or to do the best for their interest. And there's liability associated with that. Today, I don't think you could get me to be on a condo board.
What is the liability? What's the recourse if you're proven to be negligent in your duty?
Potentially personal liability.
Huh.
And then you have to look and see, does the board have directors and officers insurance that's going to cover you for any personal liability.
And this would all be civil?
Yes.
So why haven't we seen a run of civil litigation against a bunch of these condo boards?
You're starting to.
Oh, okay. So it's just hurry up and wait. That's what it's.
Well, look, Jim said that the regulations came in 2021, 2022. The reality is that the biggest financial impacts were supposed to be completed by December 31 of 2024. So what did a lot of the condo boards do at the suggestion of their condo attorneys? They moved their annual meeting up from January 1 of 2025, where January 5th, whatever it was, where they would have been forced to pay the full reserves. They just moved it forward 2 weeks, had their annual meeting on December 22, where it wasn't in effect at the time, and they passed another year of half funding or third funding of the reserves. So it's really going to be at the end of this year or the beginning of next when every board is required to fully fund.
That was a clever
Yeah, that's why they
working.
pay those guys the big bucks.
That's a clever working. Yeah, that's clever.
So let's go into. I want to go into what the requirements were under the new laws, Paul. And if there's anything incorrect, please correct me, because that's why I want you here, is to make sure. But what I want to, the reason why I'm bringing this up is that when people are buying a condo in today's market, or people selling a condo in today's market, the sellers have obligations to disclose everything they know that might be happening in the community. And they have to give certain financial documents and other type of documents, not just financial, rules and regulations, frequently asked questions. And if they don't do that, they're kind of, I don't want to say kind of, but I think they were in breach of the contract, right? As is contract, because it requires them to do all of those things.
And those are what we hear, condo docs, right? Is that what I'm hearing? When I hear condo docs, we're talking about all the documents from the condo board that represents their financial stability. I mean, is that essentially what we're dealing with?
Yes, and the number of documents has expanded dramatically since last year when they came out with the new condo rider. So, and you also get more days to review it. It used to be that the seller was obligated to deliver all of the declaration of condominium, the bylaws, the rules and regulations, the last year's financial statement, the current budget, the frequently asked questionnaire, and any amendments to any of those documents. And then you had 3 days to review everything, make sure you were comfortable moving forward, and then the buyer's locked in after that date. They don't have a right to get out. Now, they extended that to 7 days, not 3 days, which is really having a dramatic impact on inspection periods, because a lot of people forget to give all the documents up front and don't have a great realtor who spends a lot of time with the condominium board before their marketing to get all these documents, put it into a link, connect it to the MLS posting so that everybody can have access to it before they even see the unit, but also forward that link on to the buyer's agent to say, here are all the documents right up front. Your 7-day period is going to run with the inspection period. So there are a lot of people who are just sitting back and waiting for documents, and 10 days into the contract, they don't even have the documents. So they're going to get another 7 days beyond the inspection period, in which to cancel at any time.
Wow, as if we need another real good example as to why you have to have a phenomenal realtor representing you. Speaking of phenomenal realtors, Jim, yes?
I have a question about real life stuff with this, Paul. Everything Paul says is true. And this is what happens. We sit down and we tell to the seller, we have 3 documents now, right? We actually have 3 documents. We started out with none and now have 3, basically stating to them, you must help us and provide this information so we can give it to the buyers. If you don't do that, the buyers have a right to back out of this contract until those documents are reviewed. And what happens in real life, Paul, the sellers will say, okay, no problem. Then they call the property manager or the condo board. It's usually the property manager. The property manager won't give them all the documents. And I don't understand why property management companies act like they're clueless as to all the documents that are required now, right? They'll say, well, the rules and regulations are on, on a website, which I love when they're on websites. But a lot of times the rules and regulations haven't been updated on the website. They're not the current rules and regulations. They might be 5 years old, 10 years old, and they've been on the website forever. And the property management company will a lot of times tell the realtors, you're not the owner. We're only dealing with the owner. Then you go back to the owner and say, look, your property manager won't deal with me. You got to get this stuff. And it turns into heck.
They'll also say we publish what the board provides, and then you got to kick it back to the board. Then your homeowner has to get with the board member. You know what I mean?
Well,
so there's a cycle there of not my fault,
so
right?
is it
Like
just
not my
us?
responsibility.
Is it just us, Paul? Am I doing something wrong? I mean, this has been a big struggle for my team dealing with this and our customer service.
So
Because we want to help the people, but I don't know what to do about this. And why do they act so clueless? Every deal, they got to produce these documents.
when I'm talking to realtor groups, one of the things I say to them is this is an opportunity for you because nobody's doing this. Nobody's getting it right. I've been able to get people out of contracts literally the day before closing when I just look at it and I say, I notice you never sent us the frequently asked questionnaire or the last year's financial statements. I'd really like to see that today. And then I wait for them to send it to me. And then I said, well, pursuant to my 3-day right of review, cancellation.
Thank you.
And they're furious with their realtor. They shouldn't be. It was their responsibility. And I'm sure the realtor told them it was their responsibility. What I do is, in your example, have Nancy get on the phone with the seller, make a joint call so that the management company can play that shell game with you and say, these are the documents we need. If you don't have them, who do I speak to within the association? Who is your CPA? Who is the president of the board? I just got this listing and I want it all up front so that I know that we're compliant. The new condo form adds in board minutes for the last 12 months, board agendas for the last 12 months, the current budget, list of delinquencies, how many units are rentals. All of these things are important. And if you're getting a loan on a condo, you better start that 3 weeks before you sign a contract.
It goes hand in hand with what I have to look at when I'm trying to pre-approve somebody, before underwriting, right? So my goal is to make sure we're only in contracts that can get to the finish line. So when you're buying a condo, I got some legwork to do up front, some homework to make sure that we even have a shot at doing it with the type of loan that we're anticipating. And so I've been advocating for years, Jim, hey guys, you have a document section on the MLS. Give me the bare bones, give me a budget and the insurance decks, at the very least. And so when I see a listing like yours, Jim, I don't know if it's Jim or it's Nancy, but when you go into a listing, if Jim has a condo listing and you go to the document section, there is certainly everything I need there to do the type of assessment I need to do at my level. It may not be everything we need for underwriting, but it's enough to give me we got a shot at this.
And you almost can see and taste the blood and tears that are on those documents, even though they're electronic, to get them, right? Because she goes through, the bane of her existence really is the condo stuff. And
I've been dealing with condos here in South Florida for my entire career in this, and property management companies have gotten better, okay, but they have always been difficult. I always joke that their customer service was I forget how he said the joke, but they couldn't even get hired at the DMV because their customer service was like,
hey, we have a friend, we have a mutual friend at DMV. Leave him alone. Yeah. And the thing is, I'm dealing with it right now, Mike. So when you say most of them get better, I maybe that's been your experience, but I'm dealing with the condo right now that I've called up 4 agents. This is what's going on. They needed to put on a new roof for the whole community. They hired the contractor. They did the assessments. They collected the assessments to have all the money. They broke ground, found out there's asbestos tile on the roofs. So now they have to do asbestos remediation on top of replacing the flat roof, right? So they had to go back, recalculate, figure out how much extra everybody had to pay, levied a second assessment. Everybody's paying it. It's almost done. I think it's done in November. So our people are selling the house. We disclosed everything that we know up to this point. Now the property manager, because there's an open permit on the property, open commencement on the property, the title company is requiring that we have a sufficient funds affidavit.
Sure.
Well, the property manager won't sign it because they're like, well, we got the bill from the contractors, but until they open up the roofs, we don't know if there's going to be extra costs. So we're not signing that document. And now the title company will not close.
Yeah.
And we don't know what to do. And I started calling the other realtors to find out, like realtors that work in this community all the time. I started like being Mr. Reporter, investigating all this stuff. 3 deals fell apart because of this, because the property manager won't give them the correct information. 3 deals dropped, and I can watch the property values in this community just sinking. Every property that's closing is closing tens of thousands of dollars less than the property before.
And this is where you get into the litigation thing, because what these homeowners are being,
damaged,
impacted by the inability to sell their property. I don't know if there's somebody at fault or not, but
so I know that there are some realtors who are going to the board meetings and they're sitting patiently and they're saying, look, I believe in your condominium. I would love to list and sell a number of units in here. Nobody can do it because you're not set up correctly. You need to have this, this, and this. You need to put this link together. And I'm here to help you. I will work with your property manager. I just need the president and the vice president to commit to it, to introduce me to the property manager, and to say, this is a priority to get done this week. And if you can do that, not only do I think you can sell your unit, but you can pick up other people in the building, because the board's going to say, here's an agent who believes in us. Here's the agent who's being proactive and trying to solve a problem that we have. So,
and you would think they would be motivated because all these people on the board are all residents, right? They all own condos in this community. They want their values to remain high, and
you would think so.
You would think so.
It's crazy. I want to go back to originally the rules and regulations that changed and what people have to do. I want to get it from Paul's perspective. After I go through some of the rules and regulations that changed, then I want to switch over to Mike and say, okay, I've got a buyer now. What do I need to know with my buyer's hat on about financing and condos? Okay.
Excellent. 877-927-6969. Should you like to join the conversation with a question, comment, concern, you're more than welcome.
Okay. So the new law now requires that there's a structural integrity reserve study. And this is for any buildings that are 3 stories or taller. What I never caught on this, Paul, before was habitable stories. So I guess like if your first story is a parking garage, that doesn't count if you're 3 stories, right?
You could be a 4-story condo and be exempt if there's 2 floors of parking.
Right. Okay.
What if one of the floors is a pool?
Same thing.
Okay. So
commercial space.
Same thing.
Same thing. So structural integrity reserve study is done for buildings that have 3 stories or more of actual units on them, not just the community structure. SEER is called SEERS, SIRS, right? So SEERS must identify all the items for deferred maintenance, like the roof, the load-bearing walls, fireproofing, protection, plumbing, electrical, waterproofing, all of windows, doors, making sure everything's done, right? Making sure everything's on point, and that the deferred maintenance, if anything exceeds, and if any of the deferred maintenance expenses in the study exceeds $25,000. Wait, see. Oh, the deferred maintenance expense or replacement cost exceeds $25,000 or adjusted for inflation, and failure to maintain negatively affects those other items. So basically anything 25,000 or more, you're supposed to take care of it right away. Right? Correct, Paul?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I know I didn't say that in the best way. That's what I was asking.
25,000 or in individual?
No, or more.
Each individual category.
Right, each individual category. And then said, in the report, even if you don't have deferred maintenance, you have to put down useful life of everything that's there. So if everything's looking good, you still have to have a useful life estimate for each of the components for the building.
So if you just redid the roof and it's a 40-year roof, you have to allocate 1/40th of the roof into your reserves so that 40 years from now, you've got enough money to redo that roof again.
That's fantastic, actually. I love to hear that because it's not a big slice. They're adding little incremental pieces with the plan. We know that 40-year roof is going to cost more than 40 years probably, but
they're also going to be
working
earning interest on their money to get to that number.
right. That sounds great.
This report must be done every 10 years. If your building is 3 stories or higher, you have to do this report every 10 years. And I said previously, many associations could waive or underfund the reserves. The new law doesn't allow that. You must have all the reserves that are needed.
Good.
The other thing is that the association, here's another thing, the association may fund the required reserve contributions via several methods. So you could do it in your regular monthly or quarterly assessments or yearly assessments. You can set a special assessment aside just for that work. And when that assessment's done, the assessment goes away. Or you can actually go for loans or lines of credit now. Before, you weren't able to do that, I guess, Paul, huh?
Yeah. So a couple of things there. Number one, your building had to be 30 years old.
Yeah, it doesn't mention
before
the age in
it
here.
starts.
Mhm.
And there's an exception for that. It's 25 years if you're within a certain, I think it's a mile or a mile and a half or half a mile.
I'm reading it right now, 3.
3 miles
Yeah.
from the coast.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the condominiums that are built are close to the coast. So it's after 25 years, you have to do this study once. And then every 10 years from there, you have to do it again.
That's called the milestone inspection, right? Is that correct?
Correct.
And then, so after a milestone inspection, a Sears may be delayed up to 2 budget years if certain conditions apply, right? So they're going to give you time to fix it. But basically, the state is saying, hey, when you have these repairs, you got to create a plan and you got to do it. And you can't kick it down the road
That's
anymore.
just the reserves, though, right? I mean, so it's mainly about funding your reserves for long-term capital expenses, but I guess it's the structural integrity is part of that,
right?
Yeah.
Part of
Yeah.
that, right?
So anything that they find that's a real problem,
Got to fix it,
got to fix that now.
and you need to do your reserves.
Now
So-
that you fixed it there, that's only a fix for 15 years.
right?
The elevators need to be replaced every X
Yeah.
number of years. So you get all these layers in there, and you think, okay, 40 years on a roof, 1/40th isn't a big deal. They forgot things like the plumbing lines that run inside the elevator shafts. Half of those were old PVC, cast iron, whatever it was, ready to go at any time. And when you're coming in and you're doing the elevator shaft, that's the time to replace that line.
Mm-hmm.
So you start getting these nuanced engineering assessments of when to do what, where, and those prices
Add up.
are especially on the buildings that had been waiving their reserves for so many years in the past under this myth that, oh, we're all wealthy enough to be able to pay it when we need to. We'll just do a special assessment at that time. And then the people who said that when they were 60 are now 80. They've gone through half of their savings and they get hit with a $40,000 special assessment.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? They're not going to pay that 40. They're going to sell and go try to find someplace else to live.
Right.
So,
and we're seeing that a lot throughout the state. I know there were several politicians in Miami trying to create some kind of laws or regulations to help like senior condo owners that are homesteaded that are losing their houses to
fixed
these
income and all of a
Yeah,
sudden
like
their
trying to
costs
give
are
them-
skyrocketing.
Yeah.
You mentioned the ability for these associations to get loans for these repairs. And is that, so that's new, right? Obviously.
I think that's new because I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it's new. What do you think, Paul?
so there's always been the ability. You have to have this money in your bank account, is what the state said. They didn't say how you get that money in the bank account. So those are your three options: special assessment to put it in all at once now and make the building more attractive to buyers in the future because there isn't this overhanging obligation. Get a loan where you're paying it back over time. So you say, okay, we need $30 million today. We're going to do a special assessment because if you're going to get a loan from from a bank, the bank is going to want to see the special assessment passed by the board, passed by the unit owners, in place with an assignment of those revenues from the special assessment back to the bank. So those usually go hand in hand, special assessment and bank funding. And then the other option is just a regular special assessment without bank funding if you don't need the 30 million today, but you're just trying to build up the kitty.
Mm-hmm.
So
You
So
also
Very
go to
different
Russia,
ways.
Russian investors.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
No strings attached.
yeah, exactly.
Probably not.
So, and then the final component, besides the buildings and the studies for the buildings and the funding for the buildings, was working on the condo board members to make sure they understood all their legal obligations and fiduciary obligations to the community.
That
Make sure
sounds
they
very
still
important.
want
So
to
they're teaching them
volunteer.
about,
Yes.
they
Yeah, you
teach
still
them
want to do
about,
this?
about elections, kickbacks, like when you hire contractors. That's the probably number one part of fraud for condo board members. When you get to pick the contractor, you know, a lot of times there's kickbacks involved. There's a lot of money. I think there was somebody in Fort Lauderdale that they just had on the front page everywhere.
Yeah, there's
They
potential
took
for
millions.
Sure.
What if you
millions.
just accept the money and then never do anything?
What do you mean? Except you mean
is
as a
that
contractor?
illegal, Paul?
from the contractor,
Take the money but do nothing with it?
no, that's
or do nothing for it?
So they also are taught about record collection and transparency to make sure that if any condo owners have questions about the finances or any decision-making process, that they have easy and legal access to it, which they should anyway.
Right.
All that's abuse is what they're trying to stop is abuse. So all these things. Now, this is getting me to why I think that the condo market is actually going to be potentially a bright, shiny spot in a weaker real estate market. Is that once they get control and they rip off the Band-Aid and they fix all these things, structural integrity, and they have all the reserves and finances for the future to come ahead, that makes them much financially stronger, which then hopefully will be able to get easier types of more types of financing than than traditionally what we've seen before. And I think that's what we're going to get into the next segment. If we just take a break right now, just for a second, Mike, when we flip on the flip side, I want to talk about how mortgage companies look at Florida condos specifically.
Yep.
And what kind of loans usually can they get and what they can do to make better loans.
so you're talking about owner-occupied opportunities. You're not talking about investment opportunities.
Well, it can be investment too, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But I think we're a little early for the investment. You have to be super cognizant. I'm going to show you how you do that. But this is for both people. But what I think is going to happen is that people, I get so many people, it's like they are on a budget of $200,000 or $220,000, and they come to me and they've been searching on Zillow and like, I want all these condos. And then I say, well, you're doing FHA financing. None of these condos fit the type of financing you need. And then they're like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can buy anything at all. These new regulations, I think, are going to solve a lot of those problems.
Yeah, where the condo is essentially one component of the affordable housing question or answer. And also the changes should make it less risky for like kind of a long-term,
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But good luck getting that condo questionnaire from the association.
yeah, that's I think we're going to talk about that next.
Yeah.
Like what's it take on
Exactly.
the financing side?
Yeah. So
Where's
that's-
my money, man? Lots of great information always to be consumed on a Saturday. Thanks for being with us. Of course, always remember when you're looking to buy a home, you're selling a home, you're stuck with a home, you don't know what to do. If you have anything that touches the world of real estate and you're having an issue with it, I got a professional. One click away, FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. The one-stop real estate shop is FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. We call it that for a reason. This is a team of pros, experts in their field. They're so like-minded that work cohesively together. And man, when you need a team, You need a team. You learn the hard way, unfortunately. And many times people will call up and be like, I learned the hard way. Can you help me now? Let's not go down that road. Let's get it done right the first time. You probably know people in certain fields, and maybe you love these people. The reality is even people you love might not be very good at what they do. You still love them. Sure, they're amazing humans. They just might not be great at what they do. When you're dealing with big issues, you have to have people that are not good at what they do. You need people that are great at what they do. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Know it, use it, love it, share it. You can change lives, including your very own, with the pros of FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. We're back in 4 minutes. Thank you for being with us every Saturday, right here on Real Radio.
We're everywhere you need to be. I've been everywhere, man. Tell your smart device to play Real Radio 92.1 on iHeartRadio. Real Radio weather.
I'm CBS 12 meteorologist Charlotte Carl. It is going to be a breezy day out there, so definitely not the day to go to the beach or head out on the boat because beach and boating conditions will be hazardous with winds blowing out of the north and east about 25 to 30 miles an hour with gusts possible even higher.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DePola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rauch from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rauch will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rauch, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Camaronets, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. That's FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation because FloridaTalkRealEstate.com has you covered. That's FloridaTalkRealEstate.com.
From the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys Studios.
Have you been in an accident? Call Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Real Radio 92.1 is WZZR West Palm Beach, an iHeartRadio station.
Make us the #1 preset on your car radio and on the free new and improved iHeartRadio app. Listen for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good. This is Florida Talk Real Estate with Jim DePola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
Stepson.
Thanks for being with us on a Saturday. Every Saturday is a beautiful thing, knowing that you're out there. 92.1, 101.7 on the free download your iHeartRadio app and live streaming with us as well. Florida Talk Real Estate on Facebook, on YouTube. Thanks for being here. And of course, if you're like live streaming, yeah, we do. We do that every Saturday. And if you would like to check it out, always remember it sits up there on Facebook, Florida Talk Real Estate, on YouTube, Florida Talk Real Estate LLC. Check it out. Lots to consume. Consume away. Johnny C is me. Jimothy's our producer extraordinaire. What's up, my dude?
Hello, and good morning.
Good morning. Phone lines are working today. You're welcome to join in. 877-927. Is it working? It works.
Fine.
6969. 877-927. Good. 6969. If you got a question, comment, concern, you got 45 minutes remaining on this Saturday. Of course, if you're not comfortable on the radio, always remember FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Your access to the entire team. You're one click away. You can call too. There's a hotline. You'll see it at FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. 888-973-7828. Answered by a live body 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Mike Rauch, he's the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. He sits to my left. That's your right.
My right. Your left.
You're right. You're always right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You right.
You right.
Good morning.
Good morning. Paul Krasker is here with the law offices of Paul Krasker. It's always a pleasure to have you in studio. Thanks for being with us on a Saturday.
On the left.
On my, you're right.
You're
always
You're
right.
on Jimmy's left.
You're always right.
Yeah.
And
Mr. Right.
Jimmy D, of course, Jim DePola, 13 plus years now. I've told you he runs the top producing Keller Williams team. It's the Florida Home Pros team with Keller Williams Innovations. Jimmy D, Jim DePola, how you be?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Happy South Florida, everybody. Just a couple of things before we get into financing condos and understanding all that is, first of all, if anybody's listening and you haven't done it yet, please give us a Google review. Just go to Google and search Florida Talk Real Estate LLC and give us a review. Let us know how we're doing. Tell other people why you like listening to the show, or if you've been a past customer, or just got some free advice for us and called us once in a while and just asked for some free advice. Give us a review. We would love for you to do that. Really big help to our team. Thank you very much in advance. The other thing I want to remind everybody, we still got the charity thing going on for KOP Mentoring Network. It's an at-risk kids program, Paul. It's based in Delray. C. Ron Allen, who's been a longtime friend of mine. Oh my gosh, it might be almost close to 40 years now we've been friends.
That's awesome.
And C. Ron started this group about 35 years ago, and it was just to help kids that were like latchkey kids whose parents were working all day long and the kids had nothing better to do. He took them in. He's got a Navy background, military background. So he basically said to the kids, look, we're going to do a lot of cool things after school, but if you don't do your classes right, you can't participate. School's first. These kids all went from failing out to like, I don't know how many kids he's put through college C-Ron now.
That's so cool.
Anyway, they have for about 6 years, they were doing a weekly podcast on their Facebook page, KOP Mentoring Network. And the kids produce it. They come up with the content. They book the guests. They do everything. They use the same system as we do, StreamYard. But their computer's failing. And every time they try to do a new live podcast, the computer's just not working for them. And it's they put so much effort into it. So we're trying to raise money for a new Apple computer that will last them many years to come. It's a $1,500 lap book that we're hoping to get for them with including the 3-year warranty. You can go on our Florida Talk Real Estate page and go into the post and click on donate. Here's the problem. We haven't been getting a very good response on this yet. I was a little disappointed. But the problem is the link that the group gave me when you click on it, it doesn't go to the donate page. It goes to the main page, and then trying to find the donate page has been very difficult. So if you're interested in any amount of money, $5, $10, every amount counts. The Florida's Talk Real Estate team is going to match it up to $750 so we can get this computer for them. But if you're having a problem signing up or you don't want to go ahead and click it, just give us a call or reach out to us directly, and we'll make sure that the money's directed that way. Ross has already agreed to contribute some money. Ross Camarinas from Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach. Thank you, Ross.
Amazing.
And we're going to get this done for the kids before the end of the year.
Yeah, it's going to happen. And again, if you're interested, a few bucks, everybody contributes a few bucks. We get there very quickly. Find that information, Florida Talk Real Estate on Facebook.
So, Jim,
Yes.
just to give them an incentive for everybody who's on the show today, if you donate today, I'll match the donations.
Oh, that's awesome, Paul. Thank you so much. So please, today is a really good day.
Get Paul's money.
Paul's going to match and we're going to match. So it's going to be awesome. We want to get this computer.
Let's get it done today.
Repeat again. What's the surefire way? Somebody just heard that and they want to do it. What should they do?
The easiest way would just contact me on the Florida Talk Real Estate page and just say, hey, I want to donate. Give me a way to do it. That would be the easiest way right now. But if you want to do it directly, just go to our link and you'll have the website there and then just find the donate page. It is a 5013C. It's a totally legit nonprofit group. And we know that C-Ron would really help it out. We already helped one of the kids get a car. We helped them get a car through one of our sellers donated a car. And I found out like a year later, she's been driving it back from Duke University where they helped her get a scholarship at Duke. And
Nice.
she's driving back and forth. She's a marketing major. I get tingles every time
That's
I think
awesome.
about it, thinking of it driving a car back home.
We should start a website. It's kind of like, you remember like the win whatever's money. This will be the give Paul's money.
Spend Paul's money.
Yeah,
spend Paul's money.
.com. I like
So,
that.
yeah, if you guys don't, if the people on there donate $375 and I match that,
Then we're done.
and Jim's
Yeah.
matching the $750,
It's there.
it's done.
Wow.
And
That's
we're
amazing.
done. Come on, guys. You can do it.
Might
Thank
end
you
up
so
with
much,
two
Paul.
like
That's
that.
awesome. Thank you. Please.
Win Ben Stein's money is what you were
Yeah.
thinking?
Yeah,
Yes, there we
that
go.
one. Yeah,
Yes.
Ben Stein. I haven't thought
But
about him in
we're
a long
gonna
time.
we're trying to win Paul Krasker's money.
Bueller.
Anyway.
Well, let's go. Let's continue to talk about condos. The condo market is a little different than the rest of the market we normally talk about. The monthly reports came out from the Florida Realtors Association. We talk about months of inventory a lot for single family homes, and we've seen it as low as 0.7 months. That was in Port St. Lucie one time.
Yeah.
And we've seen it, during the time we've been on the show, we've seen 6 years up in Port St. Lucie during the crash when me and Paul first started getting together.
We have.
But right now we've been averaging around 5.5 months throughout South Florida. The condo townhome market is completely different than that. It's almost double, right? So the condo market's more like a year on the market is the average. And there's some parts where it's more than a year, 18 months.
Average
Inventory.
12 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you, and this isn't my area of expertise, I just have a real sense that it's because people are putting them on too high to start.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
For sure.
These people think, well, it's not going to impact me. I decorated my place great or whatever it is. And they don't realize that it's the financial risk that people are considering that they don't want to step in, and you have to make it worth their while. And that means discounts.
Which is
Yes, for
also,
sure.
it goes to kind of when you just, if you look at it from like the everyman or the potential condo buyer, what do they really want to know? They want to know, like, are my condo dues going to go crazy on me in the near future? And is the building I'm buying in good, structurally sound, right? Is it a good investment? Is it going to hold up? Is it in good shape? So is the condo association in good financial health? Is the building itself in good, structural health? And, or am I in for a crazy ride with my monthly dues? Right? Because people they want to know the answer to that. So that's where I think, to your point, Jim, like, you got to pull in the Band-Aid off on this stuff. That can has been kicked down the road so long. So now they're being forced to kind of address these issues. And the condo fees have been going crazy over the past 2 or 3 years, right? Because of insurance, because of these laws that are kind of forcing their hand on the reserves and the structural integrity. But when is that bleeding going to stop, right? When can I be confident as a condo purchaser or even as an existing condo owner that, okay, that ride has now, it's settled down, right? The rapids, we've gone through the rapids and now we're into calm waters. Are we arriving there yet?
Well, I feel like we're definitely in the tunnel, approaching the end of the light at the other end. It's not another train coming our way. I feel like we're approaching a fix. I think we're at the beginning of the tunnel, if you will, not towards the end of the tunnel coming out of it, but we're in the tunnel fixing it, if that makes sense. This is a terrible analogy.
Yeah, I'm trying to visualize.
I was like,
Is it like the tunnel?
I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Are we in a boat or are we on a train?
I like the image of, and there's no other train coming at us.
Yeah, that's the most important part.
That's
That's
the one I like.
It's not a train. Yeah, it's not a
headlight.
Because we're in this tunnel fixing this, bad boy, so.
Right.
So, but
half of that is done now, right?
Yeah.
Half of that, I would say 90% of the condos have their SIRS report and have their engineering study done to know, are there major structural issues?
And had funded the budget based on
that's
those.
the problem.
Some of them have, some of them haven't.
Is there still some that moved their board meeting to December so they could still have fund and let all these people who have now listed their property for sale try to get out for whatever they can get out? But if I were a board member and I had done that and then people closed within the next year, I would turn back to them and say, if you raise it an outrageous amount, I'm going to sue the board because I think you guys played with the numbers. I think you weren't transparent. And I think you have responsibilities to the community and to me as a purchaser when I asked you these questions to give me the full answer.
Yeah. And there's also, like anything, there's the extremes and then there's like what's in the middle. So I don't know what percentages who are in that position where they either, had a big thing and they took care of it or they deferred it another year. There's also a lot of projects that have done the right thing through the years or maybe kind of wisened up over the last 5 to 10 years because of the difficulty in selling to finance buyers. Like I have been, that 10% reserve thing for us has always been there. Like it's for the past, 12, 13 years.
From a loan originator perspective?
From a loan approval perspective.
Let's set the foundation there. Okay, just for a second. Okay,
Yeah.
So what Mike is talking about is the same thing. The state regulations say that there's supposed to be a certain amount of reserves for the community. Forget about the structural integrity thing, right? That was always there. And the thing is that Mike, as a lender, has to worry about the financial security of the condo community because certain government-backed loans like FHA and I think VA, right? But FHA for sure, will not allow you to do low down payment financing because they feel that the federal government feels that those loans have been too risky in the past. And that was like ground zero for the bust in 2005 was really the condo market. Single family market got creamed too, but the condo market particularly stung the federal government, the government-backed loans. So they gave us Florida specifically, a higher standard for getting a condo finance with FHA financing than other parts of the country. Correct? Am I right about all that?
You're right about all that, but include Fannie and Freddie in that because Fannie and Freddie got stung, which are your conventional loans. Mm-hmm. And I'd like to think of it as like a default, a risk tolerance, like who's going to default on these things because FHA is essentially a mortgage insurance operation. VA is a mortgage insurance operation, right? They essentially write the insurance policies. And so when there's a default, they got to pay out, right? They got to pay out on claims essentially. And so they got hit hard, but conventional loans also got hit hard. Default rates went crazy. And so basically since the 2008 timeframe, maybe through 2012, they all tightened up on the restrictions or their guidelines, the minimum requirements to get a condo approved for financing. So maybe the starting point is when you're buying a condo with financing, not only do you have to be approved and underwritten and approved as the borrower, there's an underwriting process and guidelines and requirements for the condo association itself. And it is mainly about financial health and adequate insurance levels. And then as of late, because of the structural integrity stuff over the past few years here in Florida, they've been requiring some examination of those reports, meeting minutes, special assessments based on, repairs that have to be done. So all of that is kind of in the mix for review now, answering the question, is the condo approvable? And so the reserve question has always been one that has been looked at. Are they funding their reserves sufficiently? And the sufficient is 10%. So basically whatever they bring in revenue, the association membership dues, 10% of that should be funding their reserve, categories, right?
Mhm.
Things for long-term capital expenses. And I've always where do you come up with 10%? What's that for? And it wasn't necessarily in the laws at that time. But from a risk perspective, if there's any chance, if you're underfunding reserves over a long period of time, there's a chance that you're going to go through this moment where you have to fund these big projects and everyone gets priced out. And then what happens? Your monthly expenses go way up. You're going to default on your mortgage, right? So they kind of have had that kind of bean counting happening for a long time. And so, there's always been this battle from a financing perspective. How can they get approved? Are they in good shape? The condos through the years have improved on that front. Like they've just wisened up to what it takes to be financeable. And that's obviously, there's existing owners who want to sell, have an interest in being able to sell to as many borrowers as possible. If you're eliminating financed borrowers, like that's a huge pool of your potential buyers.
So my question though is that most condos, I hear it's something like in the 90% range or 95% range. Most condos do not qualify or meet the standards for
FHA and VA,
which are lower down payment, right? We're talking 3%, 5%, 3.5%, 0%.
So FHA is definitely considered the low down payment option. VA obviously is the 0%. That's a really, really great program for veterans. But you can also do low down payment with conventional, right? So you can be as low as 3% down on a conventional loan. So the question is, it's not so much like low down payment as the threshold. It's just FHA and condos don't play nice together, right? Basically, FHA does have an approval process. It's kind of long and arduous, and it's more restrictive than conventional guidelines as far as getting a condo approved. But FHA has a list, and if the condo is not already approved on that list, chances of getting it approved are very slim and take longer than one would like under a real estate contract.
Mhm.
And the chances are I don't know if it's going to get approved or not. So what you want, if you're doing FHA, which would include reverse mortgages, you want to be on a condo project that's already approved. Now, last time I looked, Palm Beach County, FHA probably had 6 projects approved.
Out of the whole county.
And all of Palm Beach County.
Right.
And there's thousands of projects.
And if it's approved, do you still need to get the condo questionnaire?
No. So if it's already approved on their list, green light to do FHA. If it's already approved on VA's list, green light to do a VA financing there. But they're very, very few and far between.
But my question is once they go through all these regulations and they do have the reserves and they've done everything they're supposed to do because now they're really required to, isn't that going to open up a whole, instead of 6, it's going to be 600 or 6,000 communities?
So I would say short answer is yes, it should. As everyone gets in line with what now the state is requiring them to do, which is properly fund reserves, make sure that your building's structurally sound. And one of the things that has always been on the books, but now they're enforcing, make sure you're insuring the project at the appropriate levels, right? Which is something they've also undercut through the years, which is hey, we're going to underinsure, right? So we're not insuring sufficiently to basically replace the building if we had to. So the more that the condos come in line because they're forced to, the more opportunities there should be for financing. And there's been talk and lobby, it's not happened yet, for FHA to kind of loosen up on their guidelines, at least to come to the level of what Fannie and Freddie are requiring, right? And there's an easy case to be made there. It's listen, if Fannie and Freddie are saying it's okay, and they're very conscious of risk and default tolerance and rates, things like that, you guys can maybe loosen up a little bit too, right?
So my question is, if your community isn't one of those 6,
Yes. How
Then-
do you do it?
Right. So if you do a regular, and I need financing, I can't buy the place cash. So what am I normally looking at, like for down payment and the type of loan I'm going to be doing if it isn't one of the approved?
Okay. So there's so I'm going to switch off FHA and just like, so it's, if it's a conventional financing, you essentially, I'll call it green light, yellow light, red light, as far as the ability to get your loan done with the conventional Fannie or Freddie financing. So Fannie Mae has a list, right? The database called their Condo Project Manager. And if you look up a condo in there, it will either be approved, green light, meaning you could do it with the low down payment. You could do it with 3% down, 5% down. You don't need 25%. You don't need 30%. It's approved, no questionnaire. Don't even have to go through any of that. You have to document the current insurance, and that's pretty much it. It could also be red light, meaning Fannie says no go. It's been reviewed. It's deficient in a certain thing. This condo, you cannot do regular, Fannie Freddie finance. It doesn't matter. You could be doing 50% down. You're not getting the loan approved. It's red light now. Then it could be yellow light. Yellow light means you go into what we've been doing for years, which is there's two review processes. There's a full review, which means we look at the questionnaire, we look at the finances, we look at the insurance, we look at the meeting minutes, all of that stuff. If you're wanting to do low down payment, anything less than 25%, not 20%, 25%, you're going to be doing a full review. If you're 25% on a primary or 30% down on second and investment homes, if you can meet that down payment threshold, you're going to do what's called a limited review. Limited review is they allow it because you're putting more skin in the game. It's less risk of default, all of that stuff. They say, okay, we're not going to look at everything. We're going to look at just some of these things that we consider most important. And so that's what you traditionally done. If you're doing a big down payment, you could probably get it approved regardless of how healthy the condo is. If you're doing low down payment, it's going to be that in-depth review. So the FHA review, VA's review is similar to the full review process.
But my question is that's really great information. My question is, you mentioned that when you just did a recent check for FHA, there was only like 6 communities in Palm Beach County, right?
Yep.
Now, if you were to do that same check for Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, when you say a lot more, are we talking like hundreds or dozens, do you think?
Hundreds that are already approved, that are green light, or that are even yellow light, meaning approvable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thousands.
Thousands
that are either green light
that you
or
can
yellow
do
light.
less than 25% down?
So the ones that are yellow light,
it depends.
It depends. You have to look at like the very first thing. So we've got a buyer. Let's go. This is our the way we operate, right? We've got a pre-approved buyer. We know they're shopping for condos. I'm going to tell Jim, before you even go look at a project, just something that looks interesting online, send me the address. I'm going to look up the condo on Fannie's list. I'm going to see if it's, green, yellow, red. If it's red, I say, don't bother. We can't do it. Or we have to come up with like a non-warrantable condo option, which you can finance these ones that can't get approved. I don't know if you want to talk about that, but red light, don't bother. Green light, yeah, 100%. Go show them anything. We're going to do it. Yellow light, how much are we putting down, Jim? Okay, we're trying to do 5% down on this. Give me the budget, give me the insurance, give me the contact at the property management company. Let me do a little bit of research.
So with yellow, there's a chance you could go as low as 5% down?
100%. If I look at the budget and they've got over 10% reserves, it's a really, really good sign. Meaning they're probably doing things right. And like, I can look at a budget and in, 30 seconds, see if they're funding the reserves at 10% or not. It's really simple. It's not complicated, right? They're bringing in 1.5 million in assessments.
You need 150.
You need 150,000 for your reserves.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward. Now there's some nuance in there, right? If you're close, you got to know how to look at some of the other budget items, but that's the basics of it.
So Paul, here's another question I have for you that maybe you can help me out. I had do you remember Kevin Marr?
Yeah.
His mom, he passed, by the way. His mom, we helped him buy a property. She was in her 80s. She was selling a house and then buying down. She had to use no more than what she had from her sale of her home, which was a very tight budget. So we had to do a condo. And I was really worried about her, the future, because of being on a fixed income and everything. And we went through all these condos over and over again. I finally found one It was only 2 stories, so I felt like that would help. I grilled the condo board people as best I could. We got all the information we were supposed to get. Mike was the we did cash on that, right? I think we did 100% cash.
Yeah, I don't know the
Maria.
Okay.
I think you talked to her, but we didn't. We did cash. So, you were the backup plan in case we couldn't do cash, right? We were going to do a small loan. So what ended up happening, Paul, was she moved in 18 months later, $10,000 assessment, right? And I felt, it's like, wow, I spent so much trying to avoid this from happening, and it isn't my thing, but I really did the research hoping that we wouldn't have that. And now they're having a problem, and now the group is talking about suing the condo board and everything. It's a mess. Is there any way to kind of avoid any of that, or it's just like a crapshoot? Because I feel like it's almost like a crapshoot right now.
Well, I think with the disclosure requirements today, you have a better sense of where they are. But to your point, I could look at the last 12 months board meetings, figure out what they've been discussing. I could look and pull up open permits and figure out when the last time they replaced the roof and the elevator, and do my own little SIR study. Hey, you're gonna, the roof was 25 years ago, it's coming up. You're gonna know that's there. If I look at the reserves and they're not adequate reserves to do a $300,000 roof, I know there's going to be a special assessment. So you could do it. It's just so much risk, because even if it's a 40-year roof, does it go all the way to 40 years? Is there some event that occurred that you actually have to redo it in 30 years? I
mean, it's a predicament for your professionals and for the prospective buyers, just because you just number one, that takes a certain level of skill and expertise to be able to analyze and come up with answers to those questions. So who's doing that? Is it your real estate agent, or do you pay a lawyer to do this kind of thing? Or or are you relying on your financing people to do some of this vetting? And you think, well, listen, if they say it's good, it's probably good for me. But I would say, we wouldn't be able to know if an assessment's coming 18 months down the road. We're not looking like the level of analysis that Paul just did, where you're kind of saying you're predicting, well, they haven't done this in a while, so it's got to happen at some point, right? We're not doing that type of assessment. And so as a prospective buyer, you either got to be really into that and do it for yourself, or you got to pay somebody who knows what they're doing to do it for you. Maybe, I don't know, maybe there's a service there that is missing, right? For condo analysis. Right. Is this going to be a good, is this a good investment for me? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. It's something.
I'm intrigued that they have these green lists.
Oh yeah.
Online.
Sure.
If you're really trying to protect, the green are probably the ones that are financially sound right now and seem to have good governance.
Yep.
So you can try to anticipate that. If you're worried about somebody's tight finances, you've got to pick a green building.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would say it's not a guarantee, right? Because we're talking about Fannie and Freddie and 100%. Lenders, and so there's some. The goal is to try to get it approved, because that way you're able to do financing there, right? So. And of course, you're dealing with people in my position and underwriting staff, and then people at Fannie and Freddie who kind of review this stuff. Sometimes they're good. I see stuff on there where it's red light, and the reason it's red light is and luckily to have a process where you could submit something that says, hey, you guys got this wrong. Here's what it actually looks like. For example, I saw one where they said the insurance coverage was insufficient. So we looked at the master policy. I know exactly what sufficient means in their view, and said, no, you guys, somebody read that wrong because they missed this little detail. You send them the current policy, they update it. They say, okay, it's no longer red. It's now back to yellow status, right? It doesn't go to approved, but at least it comes off and it says, okay, now do some sort of review process on an individual loan basis, underwriting basis. So, but an enterprising person, Paul, you said that agent could go into the board meetings and say, hey, we want to do something to get these units sellable.
Right.
Let's work together. I know what you guys need to do. I can guide you. And then obviously it's going to turn into business for that enterprising agent. Somebody should be in there saying, hey, you guys want to be approved for FHA financing? You guys want to be approved for VA financing? Here's the steps you got to take. Then
So that's the interesting thing too. You need to make sure you're really articulating what that means, because I think unfortunately we have realtors that hear FHA and VA and they frown upon it. They're like, "Oh no, that's not the kind of lending we
Condo
want."
You
boards do
also-
I
too.
would think condo boards would be like, "Oh no, we don't want that." And it's
Yeah,
like, no,
that-
you,
Last
you
thing I
do
want to
want
be
that.
is on that list. Don't,
That's
yeah.
exactly right. So you have the boards who say, "Wait a second, low down payment borrowers."
That's
just,
not the people we
just
want to
getting
hear.
in by the skin
Right.
of their
That's,
teeth.
I just had that
you know?
experience talking
Yeah,
to a
that's
condo
just
board
not
member,
right.
and the thing that's interesting about that is they have no idea that actually hurts the value of the property
Big
in
time.
the long run. Having more
Less
people,
buyers.
right, more buyers available to buy your property, more higher prices.
And I think it's like you got to keep the riffraff out. Like that's kind of the
That's what they're-
sentimentality there, which is why sometimes you'll see condo boards, even HOAs sometimes, not condos, but HOAs where they say if you're buying with financing in our community, we require, and I'd be curious Paul's take on this, we require 20% down. Because we don't want these low down payment borrowers. They got no money. It's going to be problematic
And a certain
for us.
credit score, even though you can get financing otherwise.
Minimum credit scores that have nothing to do with the ability to finance. And I've always thought it was somewhat discriminatory in some ways. It's just felt that way.
Several buildings in Palm Beach say 50% maximum financing.
Right. You got to be coming in with 50% down payment minimum or buy it cash. Is that so? That's legal for them to do, I suppose, because they're private organizations.
And they're also very nervous that a lot of people in there can't afford a special assessment.
Yeah.
And they need to know that at 50% financing, they can always go out and refinance to bump up to, back up to 50% or say the value is higher and now they can take 50% and pull out another $15,000 to get back to 50%. But yeah, they're nervous that traditional lenders aren't going to lend on the building, and they just want to make sure that everybody's in it together.
Yeah, I think so. There'll be there's tension there between like, hey, I want to be on the FHA list, the VA list, or no, I don't. Let's remain off of that list.
I can see a board member saying, that's the last person I want in this building, somebody who's that tight that
they can't come up.
Well, just because they have it doesn't mean that they have interest in putting it in, right? I mean, some people are like, look, I want to pay a little skin in the game. Is like, you could be a millionaire, have plenty of cash reserves, and be like, I'm going to take that financing because I don't want to put all my money in this game right now.
I see that all the time with VA loans in particular. We have many veterans. They have an opportunity to do 0% down, so 100% financing on a home, and many of them, even if they just sold their last home, they got hundreds of thousands in the bank, they still want to do the 0% down loan because whatever they got their money doing other things for them.
You can choose where that money goes.
You basically get to decide.
Yeah.
Some people are like, I don't care about equity in my home.
Buy two other condos as investment properties.
Yeah. If you choose to, sure.
So yeah, it's I don't know, but I to what you said, Jim, it's like as a seller, I want the biggest buyer pool possible, right? I want to have as many eyeballs, and then I can selectively choose which offers to accept or not. As a listing agent, you should be advising your condo sellers what types of financing we should avoid, right? Like if somebody comes in with low down payment, well, guess what? I already have my guy Mike look at it. He tells me we can't do it with 5% down. You got to do 25% down.
And that's a whole nother thing. Because a lot of the listing agents, when you're the buyer's agent, the listing agent don't have the information
they just
to know about. Like I just had one recently, and this is just very common, so it isn't earth shattering, but they said VA, FHA, conventional cash, right? In the terms considered. I called them up. I'm like, are you sure it's good for FHA? Because I'm an FHA buyer. Yeah, why wouldn't it be good for FHA? Well, there's a list. Are you on the list? Or do you know something I don't know? And they're clueless. They have no idea.
Right.
And you're not going to get the documents from that listing agent, right? The documents that are required and everything. Paul, out of the amount of condos that close, how many people do you think comply with all the documents that need to be turned in before closing? Realistically.
I was just giving a talk in your office about the new condo questionnaire. And I think there were 30 or so agents in the room. And I asked, how many of you received all of these documents? Not one person raised their hand. So what it is your ability to get out at any time. So it's good for the buyer to the extent that they're not obligated to close until the closing. But it's bad to the extent that they're going in totally blind.
The sellers have no idea how big of a deal this could be. And the reason why I know it's such a big deal, when I first started being a full-time realtor on the show and we were doing short sales, I was brand new. I don't think we were with Krasker yet and Trident Title and Short Sale Innovations. I think we were with the other company. And the prices were just dropping, right? And this short sale took like 9 months to close. And we're at the closing table. And I really want this closing to happen because I'm a new agent and everything. And we're at the table. And the guy that was buying it was very sophisticated investor. So we get to the closing table and he goes, hey, I didn't get all the condo documents I needed, right? And the title company's like, yeah, if they don't have that, they could cancel. So, and we're at the closing table to close. So I rush out. I don't know how I did it, but I got the documents. I got
This was
hard
back
copies.
when it was just the
This
declaration.
is 2012,
pages,
right? This is 2012.
Declaration articles.
Yeah.
Rules.
And I didn't know any better. I'm being honest. And gave him all the documents. All proud of myself. I got it done. That done. He wasn't buying that property, right? As soon as he got it, it was like this thick. I'll never forget. I remember the table we were sitting on and everything. And he just flipped through the pages. He didn't even open them completely up. He just flipped through them a little bit. And he goes, yeah, I'm not buying this property.
Nice.
And there was nothing else that we could do. And it was a short sale. So those people were dependent that this was going to close to get them out of foreclosure. I didn't know any better. I was like, after that, I was like hyper about it. Now I'm hyper. And when you tell sellers, even when I tell them that story, they don't seem to get it. They don't seem to get how important those documents are. That's why I was asking.
Do you have a disclosure that you give to the
Yes.
seller that says, I need these documents?
3 pages.
Yeah.
We have one just about the documents you need. We have another one saying, if you don't help us get these documents, if we don't give these documents within the right timeline to the buyer, this is what could happen to this transaction. And then we have a whole nother different separate sheet that has, are there any special assessments? What's your quarterly, monthly fee? Are dogs allowed? Are trucks allowed? We have them fill out this other form. So we have 3 forms that they fill out.
Well,
It's thorough.
I've seen a lot of listing agents get more work because they partnered with the management company.
I love that idea. Yeah.
And they said, I will put together a link for you. And they have a list of all the documents within the link. They have a page number where you can find it. They even get the minutes, and they say to the management company, all you have to do, I'm giving you this link that I created for myself. I'm giving it back to you. All you have to do is every time there's a board minutes,
Drop
upload it here.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do. I did a closing 8 months later. I got the link, no updated minutes.
Yeah, it drives you crazy, doesn't it? Yeah.
Well, somebody has to create the
It's the
minutes too,
simplest thing.
right? You got board members. Somebody's responsible for, keeping the meeting minutes, but they actually have to do that. So you have to have board members who are executing their individual responsibilities as well.
But as you talked
right?
earlier in the first hour about there's a legal obligation. Like they're really setting themselves up for civil litigation because how is that not thwarting the ability to sell the property?
If I were on a board, I would have to write a letter to the management company and say, this is your minimum standard. You need to keep this active at any one time so that I can go to this link and make sure everything's there. And then I would have to, on a monthly basis, go back and say, you didn't put the agenda item on there. You didn't put the meetings on there. Otherwise, some board members are going to get sued.
Yep.
And there are property management companies I see more and more who are doing that type of thing, right? They have the documents available electronically, sometimes behind maybe a paywall or some sort of, login credentials if you're a resident, but it is accessible. You can pull up the budget, you can pull up the meeting minutes, you can pull up the rules and regulations, like all of that stuff. So there's certain management companies that at least try to manage these boards the best they can. like you said, Jim, it's, there seems to be a space for expertise required. And if you're a listing agent and you go get through this with one condo and you've done it, you kind of have it in there. Like you have a shortcut to success, which you should be able to use within the building. Say, hey, listen, we really know how to get it done. We know what type of financing can get done. We know how to get there in 30 days with no surprises, at least from our end, which obviously is the goal, right?
Yep.
We never want to be in a contract that can't close.
Yep.
That doesn't have a chance of closing.
That's right.
Sometimes contracts don't close, but at least you want to have a chance of closing.
That's right.
Right. Not a red light.
That's the whole point.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
Hey, I know we only got a couple of minutes left and we hardly ever have Paul here. So I wanted to ask Paul a couple questions about the student loan modification program. We've actually had several people. It's been kind of dead and we've been pushing it, but it's been kind of dead for a while. But now all of a sudden, we've gotten like 3 to 5 people come in just very recently looking for relief. What the heck is going on with those programs? Are they still available? Do you still do them? Can people still use them? There's so much stuff in the news, even I get confused on about it, Paul. So give us a wrap up of that, because I know there's people out there that probably could use the help.
They're still available. The government is not going to spend any money on pushing out information to get these people to call and get it done. And the people who answer the phones when you do call are actually the servicers as a subcontractor to the Department of Education. So they have no incentive to put you in a forgiveness program. We're seeing an uptick now because of the default notices going out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a smart thing for people to do. I think it's a smart thing in today's job market where kids are getting out of school and not being able to find jobs. Before you find a job, call us. We can get you a zero payment
For the first
you
year.
are unemployed. You qualify for zero and you save every dollar during that first year. Even if you get a job 30 days later, that's a high paying quality job, you still get one of your 20 years forgiven. I mean, it's an unbelievable program.
It really is.
I just don't understand why people aren't looking at it differently.
It's amazing. I had one of the people that you got was a public school teacher down in Broward, Kaylin, and it was like pulling teeth to get her to call you. All I'm trying is like, look, all I'm trying to do is save you money. I'm just trying to save you money. You're guaranteed to get savings, right? And all you got to do is pick up the phone and call Paul. And finally, I had to call the dad
and
the
cut
dad,
her payments in half.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Because that goes from a 20-year to a 10-year
because she's a public school
payout
teacher.
because she's a public school teacher.
So Paul, just refresh real quick. Who should be looking at this? Is this anybody with government-backed student loans? Is it certain employment sectors? Like who needs to look at this?
Everybody should look at it.
Okay.
We don't charge for the analysis, so there's no reason not to call. It takes 10 minutes. We ask 10 questions. We can give you a very specific dollar savings amount for the first year. And again, do it now. Get yourself in the system, especially if it's public service. So police, fire, EMS, school teachers, nurses.
Government workers just working in any part of government.
County.
Right? Yeah.
Any county employee.
Yeah.
And we've gone to these municipalities. We've gone to the Broward County School Board and said, let us send a bilingual employee into your lunchroom before school, after school. We could set up meetings. We can do Zooms. We can do whatever you need. But you must have 100 teachers who haven't signed up, need to sign up, would get the largest raise of their life.
Give yourself a raise
by doing this.
And it's an employee morale thing too, right? It just takes off a big burden off your shoulders, because we knew before we had COVID, the number one drag on the economy back then, everybody forgets this, was the student loan debt.
Yeah.
That's what everybody was saying. It's still there.
Paul, if somebody gets in, they get with you, they get their numbers, they decide they're going to move forward. We've talked in the past that oftentimes the fee is basically like a monthly payment to their loan, essentially. It depends on how much you pay, and then you're off and running in the program. You're good for the year, right? Do you notify them, hey, you're coming? Because you have to refile every year. Do you notify them, hey, this is coming up?
So 3 things there. Number 1, our fees are covered by the savings associated with our services, and you're going to be covered there. The second thing is, no, I forgot it.
Okay,
Sorry.
but 3 things. They're gonna get contacted. You're in the system,
and with the renewal, that's what it was. The renewal, we have a system where you could pay us a small amount every month, and we do the renewal for you. We have so many people who try to do it themselves and hand in the wrong piece of paper and double their payment.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Daryl just reached out to us just to wrap it up real quick. Daryl his wife has been on the student loan program for 9 years now. She was paying $800 a month. She has paid $0 for 9 years because of Paul Krasker and the student loan modification program. And it cost them nothing to find out what to do. And then they didn't fill it out 1 year with Paul after all these years. It more than tripled. And then they went back to Paul and it went back down again.
Go to floridatalkrealestate.com. You got all the information you need. Get the information you need. Set yourself up for success. floridatalkrealestate.com. floridatalkrealestate.com. A team of pros. You get them all, especially if you're interested in the student loan potential. Man, reach out. There's nothing but benefit for you. If the answer is not going to work out for you, well, there it is. It's that simple.
Quick question on our chat.